Trump is doing things that seem very chaotic. We don't fully understand all that's going on, but I actually think that on this kind of global chessboard, he's his ultimate goal is to strengthen America against China. I still believe that's his ultimate goal. And I think that he's doing several things at once. And so this is what I mean by an idea strategy. He's trying to stabilize the Middle East, even if it doesn't look like it. But he's also trying to do something else that I think is really interesting, which is he's having the FIFA. Americans don't give a fuck about soccer. I'm sorry, you guys. So Americans are more amused. Okay, there's some Americans
Roshana,
do.
you're right now. You're all over the place a little bit. Do you want to give us like a thesis, like what the main topic
Yeah,
is?
so I don't
Okay.
have a total thesis. My thesis is
So we went
that
from China to
Calling the
stability
internet.
into the Middle
I
That
know, I
was
know, I know. I was getting there.
what would be basically a
Someone's
paper
microphone is
for
on.
you. Really more
Just
like an
close their
essay.
mic. Just close their mic.
Okay. I mean,
Who's their
ChatGPT essentially writes you an essay. It's
Okay, if you're,
basically an
let me
essay
just mute
writer.
all.
I think
At its
Who
most
is it?
basic level, it's basically an
I
essay
think
writer.
it's
And it's very good at going trawling and
Who is it?
writing
It's Rebecca.
essays that are
Maybe
No, it's
they-
that, I think. Oh, no?
Okay, okay. All right, go back. Shana, go ahead. Shana, unmute yourself again.
Okay. I'm a little bit all over the place because he's dealing with Iran, he's dealing with China, and he's also dealing with Europe. So my thesis is that China is kind of not being focused on right now because it's a bigger threat. So China is tabled. So now he has Iran that he's dealing with, and then he has um, Europeans that he's dealing with. And one of the things that I think that he is doing is trying to buoy up. Okay, so you talked this morning about, I'm gonna go back to Iran. You talked this morning about his, like, what he was doing with the sales stuff, and now my brain is a little bit faulting, but you talked about what you thought he was doing with when you were explaining, you and I were talking this morning over the live stream, that you were doing about his what he was doing with Iran and this deal, the shifting. Do you remember? Because I'd asked a question.
Yes, yes, but my only problem is that I think people are still lost a little bit regarding what are we saying. So you're saying, let me say what I think what you're saying, and then you tell me if it's correct or not. You're saying that
Okay.
what President Trump's decisions and what he's saying seems very chaotic and all over the place, but it's only because people are not seeing the big picture. And if we zoom out and see the grand strategy, then everything, maybe we don't know exactly what he's doing, but because there's a bigger strategy here at play, if we understood that and we understood how all these pieces will fit together towards that strategy, then what he's doing would make more sense. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct, but I am a little concerned because people hear that and I think they think that I think he's playing like 5G chess. I don't think it's 5G chess in that sense. I think he's just doing things to get to an ultimate goal, which is a little bit different. I know it sounds like 5G chess, but I don't think of it as the same thing.
So here's the thing: you might be correct and you might not be. Okay, I don't know. But what would you say to people who would say in response that why is it that you guys wouldn't consider that maybe he's just wrong, and why is that not ever the option? Maybe the what he's doing seems chaotic because he is chaotic, and maybe this doesn't make any sense. Like, why is that not ever one of the options that you guys consider?
So I think two things to that. One, I do think he's actually been wrong on several things. So I think that he thought Iran would be a much quicker solution and would be much easier to handle than it actually has been. I think his timetable was off by a lot. So that's one factor. I do think he's been wrong. I also am very critical of the way he's dealing with China, even if I think that, like, I am very anxious about certain dealings he's had with China recently. Even if I am hopeful that he's tabling it because they're too big of a bite right now, that's more of a hope than like a complete and total face. I have concerns. Um there's a lot of things I'm critical of, and but to the second point though, the chaos point, I actually think that chaos in a weird way is his strategy. So I think he is actually being chaotic on purpose.
Right. Some people suggest that maybe there is no plan, but he's chaotic, and that has worked for him so far. So it's going to continue working out for him. Some people suggest that maybe he's playing the madman strategy, and some people are saying no, he's a madman. But if the result is the same, does it really matter? So that's what some people are saying. By the
Yeah.
way, yeah, go on.
Well, I think also what I think I was thinking about this morning when you were talking to a bunch of people, but we were talking about the way he's moving money around. I can't remember exactly what you said. I should have reviewed it before I came on stream. But um and with now I'm remembering. Okay. So with Iran, one of the things that they're doing is opening up the markets, and why that's going to be a problem for the IRGC, Danny, um, for the regime, and you said that that was going to be real problem for them. Can you because I don't have a background in finance, I understood what you meant, but can you explain it?
Okay, so a lot of people are upset regarding the three. So there's two numbers here, okay, being thrown around. One is 24, the other one is $300 billion, right? The $24 billion is the part of the money of Iran that is frozen by United States. Part of it, it's not all of it, and the MOU suggests, again, nothing has been done. The MOU, people are suggesting that the MOU is suggesting that they're going to be releasing $24 billion of that to the Islamic Republic if the Islamic Republic behaves properly, right? One, two. There's a $300 billion number, and that is not anything that is going to be given to the Islamic Republic, based on the way people, including the White House, is talking about it. Is again with the MOU hasn't been released yet, so we're gonna go into more detail once it's released. But based on how JD Vance and President Trump are talking about it, people are the way people are interpreting it is that this is going to be a fund where private companies from Arab countries around the Persian Gulf, and maybe, I don't know, China, and other people, other private institutions will be able to invest in, to be able to go and invest in Iran, right? So the $24 billion one, people are upset about it because that goes to the Islamic Republic. They say, well, that's going to be funding terrorism and stuff like that. Um, the argument in defense of the $24 billion is that, first of all, it hasn't happened. Second of all, if it happens, if it's done the way President Trump says it's going to happen, it will be in response to behavior by the Islamic Republic. And if the behavior is what I hope it is supposed to be, that would be more damaging. What the Islamic Republic would be giving up would be more than the $24 billion, right? More valuable than the $24 billion. And also, it's a good reminder that the Islamic Republic has lost so much more than $24 billion, like so much more than $24 billion, in Operation Epic Fury and Economic Fury and the naval blockade. So that's a fraction of what they lost given back to them. With the $300 billion one, I don't even, if anybody understands how the IRGC works, if it is being done the way that they're talking about it, I don't even see it as a benefit to the IRGC. I see the $300 billion money as an attack on the IRGC. Like, if I'm the IRGC and I see this $300 billion, I would consider this an attack on me, because the private sector. So people need to understand that the IRGC's entire model and its power and its survival depends on isolationism, on a command economy, on its monopoly that it has over many industries within Iran. And it also requires anti-Americanism and anti-Israeli. Without this, without these, the IRGC would lose its control over Iran's economy and also its military power around the Middle East. And these are the agendas that it has. It cannot. So opening first of all, the Iranian economy, it's not in a condition to absorb $300 billion at all, and there's nowhere to invest this. And honestly, any private company wanting putting money, billions of dollars inside Iran, while you have IRGC there controlling the economy, no private sector can compete with the IRGC. So if you go into Iran and invest billions of dollars in private businesses, you're basically burning money. I mean, I know this personally because my own friend was very successful in Iran, with a startup company, startup tech company, and he said he could, like, people always told him, but he didn't believe it until it happened to him. As soon as you get big enough, you get a knock at the door from the IRGC saying, that's a nice company you have there. It would be a shame if we take it away from you, and they take it over. They come and swallow your company, and there's nothing you could do about it. And that's why he left Iran and started, went, so that's not an environment. The IRGC does not like competition, does not like trading with the whole world, does not like the private sector in Iran to grow. And the Iran opening up of Iran's economy and having a private sector is a direct attack on everything that the IRGC is, and it's honestly the beginning of the end for IRGC. So if all of this is happening with the conditions that they're communicating with us, I think that's a movement in the right direction. But again, that's a big if it is moving, if these conditions that they are communicating, if it is there, then it's a movement in the right direction. And again, please, everybody, remember that the MOU does not limit the United States. The MOU is basically not much at all. It's just basically a handshake that maybe we're moving in a direction, but maybe we're not. Maybe we just halfway through this, we decide that we don't like you and we'll just bomb the shit out of you. This is non-binding. This does not limit at all what the United States does. There could be things that the Islamic Republic does that the United States doesn't like, and even if it's not in the MOU, they could be like, yeah, we're going to bomb you anyways. So this MOU is just basically um, a sign that we might be moving slowly in a direction that will maybe one day end up in a deal that right now, as things stand, look impossible. But if it becomes possible, it's actually with those conditions, with the red lines of President Trump. It would be if those don't change, it will be the end of the Islamic. It will be the beginning of the end of the Islamic Republic. So as much as unlikely as a deal looks, I actually would like a deal happen if President Trump doesn't change his red lines.
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
So
Yeah.
okay. Thank you for giving everybody else a summary and also like helping me retrace my thoughts. Um, the other thing that Trump is doing, we're going to switch over to America really quick because I think that these are related, and I don't have the full picture, but I just think work with me here. Trump was also people have been very critical because Trump is doing all of this chaotic stuff globally, but also like doing this huge, like we're hosting uh, FIFA or FIFA or whatever the fuck the soccer tournament is. Sorry, I don't care about soccer. And most Americans are
Okay,
not.
Shauna, we don't care that you don't care, and we don't care that Americans don't care. So there you go.
No, the reason,
So,
yes, it's important that Americans don't care though, because the only reason that we are paying attention at all is because we're
okay,
hosting the
but you don't need
party.
to. We don't need to apologize. None of us. I don't think anybody here is upset that you don't care. So don't need to apologize.
Okay,
Go ahead.
okay. Well, anyway, the point is though, um, that I think one of the things that Trump is doing and why he wanted to host this soccer tournament thing is because what's happening is a bunch of Europeans are coming in, they're spending their money. All of our businesses are doing it's a way to get money into the country because they're coming and experience middle America. Usually Europeans come and they just go to the coast. And they're actually coming in and experiencing middle America. I actually think this is part of a kind of a global war strategy in a sense because it's actually telling Europeans what they're missing out on and what freedoms they don't have and what they don't experience and why America is great. Now they're going to have all these positive experiences with all these friendly middle Americans, and they're going to go back to their countries and realize there's problems in their countries, number one, which they're already aware of, but they're going to be more aware of those. they're gonna be more aware of what they don't have, and they're gonna be a little bit jelly. And this is a way to kind of um, pump up like pro America sentiment, because they are getting bombarded all the time in their news channels with anti American sentiment. Like there's even strategies to try to keep like Elon Musk out, because Skynet and stuff, like they don't like that. So I think that that's also a pro America strategy, to kind of
So,
spread
so,
these ideas.
so,
I, I have a
so
point, I
Shannon,
promise.
okay, but this is not like a specific strategy. This is every country's strategy when it comes to tourism, bringing in sports, theater, arts, bringing people to your country. Like this is a long-term strategy on people seeing your country, liking your country, improving the brand of your country, improving the cultural soft power of your country. This is basically every country's. I mean, that's why all countries have
There's
their, a FIFA and
I
Olympics and
agree with that. I agree with that. The difference is that this is like middle America, barbecue ribs and
everything.
like free refills America, whereas European, what the soft power has been like our elite schools and things like that.
All
This
right.
is much more middle America.
So let's get to the point that you're trying to make, so because we want
My
to get to
point
other
is
people as
that
well.
one of the strategies that he's using, I can summarize it. And I know that was chaotic and I apologize. But I think one of the things that he's doing is he's shifting the way in which we express soft power. And I think he's
Okay.
using kind of a Reaganite kind of capitalist structure to do it, to be like, look at how great we are. That's kind of my summary.
Okay.
But I think
Okay.
he's
Okay.
doing it at multiple angle.
I honestly think that President Trump and the Republicans in general are less hands-on, and this is, I think, what you're saying is a natural uh, U.S. market doing its thing, and it's doing it wonderfully, rather than it. But the reason why the U.S. market and its soft power and its economy grow is because it's less hands-on and it just or grows organically and naturally. But I do want to go to the other people because I think there's a lot of people waiting. Um, but by the way, thank you,
Okay,
Shana, for that. Who's next?
I have a lot of twos in the chat. So first, Jeffrey. Is there a Jeffrey? There is a Jeffrey.
Jeffrey,
Yeah,
because
so
we
we
have a long list and today is big here. Don't
let other people go.
Yeah.
Let other people go. It's okay.
No. Jeffrey, say something. I'm just asking for people to keep it shorter. Everybody to keep it shorter. But go.
Oh, well, I was just, it kind of touches on some of the things that were being talked about before you were able to come here. I know you're very busy on a lot of the things, a lot of the calculations that are underwriting a lot of decisions that are being made and that are affecting or manifesting themselves in national policy, whether it's foreign policy, domestic policy, or otherwise. And that's very much being misread, misrepresented by any number of the autocratic bloc and or co-aligned actors to try and fragment or bump up a lot of mental emotional load and or pain felt by the good guys like people in this room. There's real reasons why we're doing what we're doing, and very rarely, if ever, is it actually defined by the mainstream left-wing media or any other number of co-aligned shitbags that think that somehow they have insider, deep secret sauce, whatever. That's all bullshit. That's all I'm saying.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.